Elections BC is standing by its decision to kibosh the provincial government's plan to mail out flyers door to door to explain the good points of the HST. It was an angry and frustrated finance minister who blasted Elections BC last night, but the organization, which is responsible for keeping campaigns and petition fights clean, says it is doing everything by the book, no matter how much the Campbell government may not like it. Our legislature reporter Shachi Curl has the story.
It's right there on the sign. Elections BC, a non-partisan office of the legislature. But yesterday, Finance Minister Colin Hanson all but called out its officers, accusing them of bias.
Elections BC essentially advised us that we don't have the right to explain through advertising why the government believes Bill 9 is in the public interest.
Hanson is furious. Elections BC iced plans to explain his side of the story about the less-than-loved Harmonized Sales Tax by mailing out government pamphlets door to door.
In their view, it would not be consistent with the Recall and Initiative Act.
In plain English, Elections BC says the government's at an unfair advantage with those flyers as it fights an anti-HST campaign.
There was, in some instances, as I put in my letter, a promotional tone.
These days, tens of thousands of British Columbians are adding their signatures to a petition being driven by former Premier Bill Vander Zalm. Elections BC slapped a tight spending limit on the ZAM, and it says the same must go for government.
Did you gag them? Did you gag this government?
I don't believe so. The legislation is quite clear on what's permitted during the initiative petition period.
Hanson claims the decision means he can't balance all the negativity around the HST.
We've got to get sign-off from Elections BC, but it'll be on your mailbox soon. And now they have told us that we cannot do that.
Elections BC says it's not as bad as that.
We suggested that the piece could be modified, and we would be happy to review a modified piece if they chose that route.
So if the finance ministry isn't quite as constrained as Colin Hanson made out, then what was all that drama about? Could it be that the Campbell government was looking for a different message, a way to change the channel on a day it knew it would take a beating for ramming the HST legislation through? Just as likely, the Liberals are putting Elections BC and their opponents on notice. And they filed a formal complaint outlining what they say are Elections Act violations.
Given that there has been this amount of violation, what is the validity of the signatures that have been collected to date?
But even there, Hanson is likely to be disappointed. Even if the other side is getting facts wrong, the signatures still stand.
The legislation doesn't address this issue at all.
And in the weeks ahead, the signature count is likely to just keep on growing. In Victoria, Shachi Curl, A News.